Good morning and welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. Uh, I'm Mike Jones from Alexandria, Virginia. Hope you can join us for a little inspiration, a little motivation, and a way to cope with your day. And my gratitude this morning is how the conversation we had before we listened to Jay Shetty just dovetail right into his topic.
Okay, good morning, folks. Happy Friday. My name is Earl Rule. I am based here in beautiful Raleigh, North Carolina. And I hope everyone's doing well. My gratitude for today is the weekend is here and we can put smiles on our faces and let's share some love out there.
Good morning. My name's Jay Anderson from West Virginia. Uh, Nature is looking lovely outside. It's cold as heck, and I did say HECK. I didn't say HE double hockey sticks, and it could go either way. But my gratitude changed from what I thought I was going to say, and then listening to Jay Shetty, I realized that my gratitude today is Jay Shetty.
Awesome. I am Christine Wright, hailing out of Brooksville, Florida. And my gratitude is on Jay's topic today. It was so good. So, and I'm with Jay and Mike and Earl, listening to him today, it rolled right into what we talked about before we started recording, right? So what Jay Shetty was discussing today was faults versus mistakes. That was the title, right? He brought up the German word Schadenfreude. I probably said that wrong. Did I
Say
say
it
it wrong,
again.
Mike?
Say it again.
Schadenfreude?
I didn't
That's
even try.
Oh,
that's
So,
what
okay.
I thought he said.
It means harm joy, which means taking pleasure in someone else's pain, right? It's normal for us to view people through a critical lens. We are human, right? It happens all the time. But we can reframe how we focus on others and how we see their faults, right? The difference between faults and mistakes is how to learn from the mistakes of others, right? And we are all flawed, every single one of us, because we are human, right? We're going to make mistakes. We do have faults. But Jay was talking about Steve Jobs. He spoke of him and how people would come up to him and ask him why he speaks of Steve Jobs so much. And it's because he can learn a lot from Steve Jobs, right? Jay focuses on what Steve Jobs did did poorly, right? He was focusing on his mistakes and how he could enhance himself to be a better person, right? But you guys, we are fascinated by others' missteps. I mean, you can see it on social media every single day. We want to hear about their faults. We want to hear about what's going on in their life so we can make ourselves feel better, right? When we try to fixate on someone else's faults, it makes us a smaller person. Um, we need to look at people's mistakes and faults as something that we can learn from. We need to examine their behavior, not judge them for it, right? But a lot of times we're judgy, right? Judgy people, right? We want to hear the gossip. I mean, this goes into like everything that we've been talking about. It seems like all month, right? Like all the titles are starting to come together now. Would you guys agree?
mhm.
So much so.
Yeah. What was your takeaway? Or you have anything you want to share? Oh, Mike.
I
Go,
did. I
go,
I did.
go ahead. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Um, I went in a different direction at the beginning of this. It's like they're famous celebrities who've made a fortune off of blunders, right? You think of Tim Conway, uh, all the stunts and pratfalls he did. Chevy Chase is famous for, falling down and getting laughs. Uh, Foster Brooks was probably the most famous drunk we ever knew because always had probably a glass of apple juice in his hand. So
Uh,
the entertainment industry feeds off of this topic.
For sure. Earl, did you want to go?
I'm having a brain flash. First of all, I think you're gonna have that word stuck in your head all day long. You're gonna be like, I knew I should have had that. I can't get that word out of my head. Also, think there used to be a show on TV show called TV's Bloopers and Practical Jokes, but they would show these newscasters. They would make these bloopers, these faults. It could be the weatherman, it could be the newscaster, even radio personalities. I mean, we know that nobody's perfect, but we look at other people's faults, and sometimes we just learn from them. I mean, we could take it as entertainment, humor, like Mike said, but it's sometimes we learn from those things.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, look at all the stuff that's out on social media in the world right now. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's happening, right? Tons. We're not going to get into all of it, right? But like,
Right.
you could open up Facebook right now, and the first comment or the first thing you see is probably going to be about somebody's mistake, somebody talking about somebody, talking about somebody who didn't do something, somebody did something that they didn't like, whatever the case may be, right? We can all do that. But that's what we see every day. The media feeds that into us, right? Because they know that we're human. They know that we want to see people's mistakes and blunders and faults. And they're like, oh, let's just put all that out there in the world for everybody to hear and see, right? Because now that information is so much more readily available than when we were younger, right? Because you can get it right from this little thing right here. Like, it's just available.
Hey, Christine, I want to throw a little monkey wrench in there, and I mean, you can correct me on this if you need to, but when it comes to social media, especially Facebook, I mean, there are people out there they'll put their faults and things that happen in their life on Facebook. It's almost like they're feeding negativity into the social media platform, and it's there to kind of suck you in. And we look for more of the positive stuff, not so much the negative stuff. But it's amazing how people, and I have people in my family who have a tendency to do that on Facebook. They'll put anything and everything on social media just to get attention. And I think it's just, to me, it's useless information.
And Earl, I agree with you to a certain extent. Now, if somebody puts something negative on there that's happening in their life,
Right.
but it's because maybe they're trying to help somebody else, right? Maybe they're thinking about like, if something negative is going on in my life, but it could help somebody in their life where they can learn from it, I might put it out there, right? I might just put a statement out there or whatever. But if it's not helpful to somebody else, I like, what is that going to do? All it's going to do is putting more information out there for others, right? But I feel like
That's
something
right.
that could help. So like, let's say somebody's going through a hardship, right? And maybe I was going through that hardship and I posted that out there for somebody, and then they learned how to get through their hardship, or maybe they felt like they weren't alone anymore. Because sometimes when we're going through something hard, we feel like we're on an island all by ourselves. Would you guys agree?
Right.
Yeah. Mic
Yeah.
And
drop.
sometimes sharing is the first step to recovery.
Yes, agreed. Yep, for sure. And sometimes, like I said, it could be something that could help somebody else. Like, I was listening to somebody the other day, and he was talking about something that he went through that was really, really hard. Like, his son had passed away when he was praying for a son. They were trying for a long, long time. They finally had a son, and he ended up passing away in their house, right? And it was a hard thing, right? That's a very hard thing. Very, very hard. And he felt this need to go speak about it, right? But he didn't know why. He didn't want to, he didn't want to do it, and he did anyway. And it ended up helping 7 other people walk through that journey. So there's always a reason behind something like that. Now, I'm not saying like we should just be going and talking negative about people, right? But like, if it's going to help somebody, absolutely. Or
Well,
if you feel like it will.
and I think if we find ourselves in a situation where something is going wrong, but it's almost like we are reaching out for help. We put it on social media to see if anybody can give us better advice on whatever it is. I mean, yeah, we could use that platform. It's okay, as long as we're not abusing social media. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be going down that rabbit hole all the
No,
time.
you don't want to be talking about politics all over social media, right?
No, I don't put politics, and quite frankly, and I'm not afraid to say this. I really don't follow it as much as other people do. That's
Yeah.
just me. But
Again, it's a messy world right now.
it is a messy world, and that's why I focus on my business. I
Mhm.
focus on me, not so much the outside world,
Right.
because I have to stay within my inner circle. And if like let me just give an example. My cousin Amy, who has a house in Massachusetts, she just posted on Facebook asking around for like a plumber. She realized that she had a problem with her I don't know if it was a water main, not a water main. I'm sorry. Maybe it was her sink, but she needed an expert to come out to her. Does anybody know of anybody that can help fix my problem? And sometimes Facebook can be good for that,
Yeah. Oh, for
and,
sure.
and also Instagram too. I mean, a lot of Instagram is connected to Facebook, so those kind of things are very useful, and also also useful information if we find out that a loved one is sick in the hospital, and just keep updated information, letting everybody know, hey, we're okay. Um, feel free to send your little emojis, hearts, send us your prayers, all that. So stuff like that, I think, is useful information. But I think we just need to divide what's not good and what is useful. Does that make sense, Christine?
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right. Sorry, my mocha's kicking in again.
Yeah.
Nothing to be sorry about. I have been sitting here silently screaming joy inside of my head on this subject.
Thank you.
Literally screaming joy over this subject. It is it's funny, Christine, you mentioned that all the Jay Shetty's that we've listened to, we're starting to see this full circle come for us, for the four of us. This is such a powerful one because I'm going to call the white elephant in the room what it is. Society loves to see pain. They enjoy watching it. We have been groomed to go towards this, to go down this particular rabbit hole. It is a pleasure that people take. It is now considered entertainment. What a shame, but it's true. So I think there's the good side of faults and mistakes, and I think there's the bad side of faults and mistakes. So, according to Jay Shetty, the fault side is us as individuals judging the people that are going through the pain, whether it's physical, mental, whatever the pain may be. And we find pleasure in it. And all we do is judge those people. The mistake side of it is, are we humans that have capabilities of saying, "Ooh, that was a bad decision. That was just a mistake. What should they have done to rectify that? Or what should we do in our own personal lives to make sure that we don't do that mistake?" So there's a yin and a yang within this statement all the way through it. And guys, at the end of the day, no one can sit here and tell me that the majority of people go for the false side. I'm just saying, the majority of people go through to the false side. The Earl, you talked about the good side of, like, quote unquote Facebook. Okay, social media has rendered. Listen, if, and I'm not going to get political here, so please take politics out of this. We have never been in more free speech in our lives than we currently are. And if you have people saying that's they're taking away free speech, they have no. Free speech is alive and it is well. It's on full display 24/7. So take that and set that on the shelf. That's the given. Put it on the shelf. Free speech is alive. Let's get back down to this rabbit hole that I'm trying to take us down. It is a deep rabbit hole. It is well rooted. Society loves pain. You know, Mike, you brought it up. Slapstick comedy is gone, but man, there were some golden ones. Tim Conway, Foster Brooks. To this day, my favorite line from Foster Brooks was, "See, Ossifer, I'm not as stunk as you drink I am." Favorite line of all time. It is a line that I will never forget. And for me to be able to recite that quick, you have to know that it's etched in my brain. There is a difference between slapstick comedy and like to see pain on that because it's meant to be comedic. Okay. Reality TV came. Woo! It came by storm. It took over and it changed the landscape of free speech. It just did. Why? Ratings soared. What took place when ratings soared? It told these TV producers that's what people really want to see, and they're hooked on it. It's like nicotine and tobacco. It is addictive. People get on YouTube to watch stupid shit all the time. Yes, guys, I'm raising my hand. I am guilty. I mean, it's just the truth. This, we could go on for hours on this. This is, and I wrote this down. Under faults, I wrote the rabbit hole / pain. Under mistakes, I wrote fixable. While I was listening to Jay Shetty, that's kind of how I started interpreting what he was saying. So, but that was my way of trying to relate those two words and what it meant and what Jay was trying to tell us. Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. The good news is there still is a very good side. That's live and well. However, there was equally as bad, if not more, on the bad side. And that is the things that we have to just pay attention to. So yes, my friends, free speech is alive and well.
And I just want to point out one thing, and I don't like to bring religion into this, but we all have faults in our lives, whether we admit it or not. We all have faults, but we all go to God for forgiveness. We need to learn to forgive ourselves. And sometimes it's harder than others, but if we want to get over that hump and enjoy life, sometimes we have to look in the mirror and forgive ourselves to get where we need to be. And it could be a hard thing. It can, but depending on what it is. So I'm just gonna leave it at that because, like I said, I don't want to dive deep in someone's religion or spirituality. It's
Listen,
but I think it's worth mentioning because let's admit it. We all have faults of some way in our lives, and some people admit it better than others. So
listen, that's the rabbit hole next door. What you
But-
just
well,
opened up.
I realize that, Jay. I realize that. I know that's the rabbit hole next door. I get
But what a great point, though. The thing of it is, I think what you were just saying is also understanding the mistake side of things.
right, exactly. And we all make mistakes in life. We all make mistakes.
No one's perfect.
It's a matter of putting that and having to put it aside and just keep moving on.
What's
I know
that,
it's
Earl, what's that song that says, "Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when I'm perfect in every way."
well, okay.
One comment though about what you were saying, Jay. When I don't say when I was younger, because I was young at one point, right? we got our news from newspapers, evening news with Walter Cronkite, and and then long came, well, we had magazines, but along came National Enquirer for the dark side, but they all
Right.
had one thing in common. They all had an editor. What social media has done is remove the editorial
Everybody's
process.
an editor now. Everybody gets the title.
Bingo. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what, Mike? Well said.
And
So
it's
true.
Mike, I'm glad you said that because me and my son were having this conversation. My son's 18, right? And we were having this conversation about like how we got information when I was growing up, because it's completely different, right? I said, well, a lot of times if something big was happening in the world, we wouldn't find out until the 5 o'clock news or the 6 o'clock news, and then we would hear about it. I said, it's not like something that you hear about something happening in another country
Real time.
immediately. It's like,
Real time. That's
yeah,
right.
it's like instant, right? I said, so the information is readily available to you guys now, whereas it wasn't, it was timed, right? There was certain timing of certain things. Like if the president of the United States was going to address us, there was a time, like there was a set time when he was going to address us. And most of us were around the TV watching it, right?
Yes.
Right. And a special report was a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Everybody gathered to watch that, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Now it's just readily available. Like you can hear about it instantly.
How scary is this? I'm going to play this. Just listen for a second. Folks, we're on the scene. The fire is still going on the car. Looks like we're not sure if it wrecked with another car or if a car blew up. Oh, wait a second, folks. We have the video of what just took place. Can we roll that video? That's how fast everything's going from
Mhm.
being live on the scene. And then, okay, now we have a video all within 1 minute of a statement.
Mhm.
Breaking news, live, fire still going. We're seeing fire and smoke. We're watching people walking around dazed trying to figure out what just happened. And wait, no. Okay, we now have video. Let me play that. And now you see a car come in and hit another car. I mean, that's how fast this real time stuff is to us. You know, like you said, Christine, it's interesting. Such a great point. When we were growing up, chances are what we heard was 2, 3 days old.
For sure.
Sometimes, and when I was really young, of course, I didn't pay attention to this when I was young, but I suspect that it was older information than that. You
Oh
know,
yeah, no doubt.
there were things about our government that we had zero clue as to what was really going on because it was never publicized. And truth be known, it probably has never been meant to be publicized. But technology has taken that to another level.
Yeah, for sure.
So if anybody says to me that, man, they're taking away our free speech, I'd like to bitch slap them right now because let me tell you what, that is the furthest truth that can be said today.
Right. When they start taking social media platforms away, that's when your freedom of speech may be a little bit impeded, but not much. I mean, we didn't have
Mhm.
social media before and we had free speech, right? So, I mean,
We know how to work around those things if it happens, though, Christine. Now,
yeah.
but it would slow us down a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Could you imagine if Congress shut down Facebook? Could you imagine?
Oh man.
There
Whew.
there would it would not surprise me if we had a riot over something like that.
We definitely
Zuckerberg
have a rock.
Zuckerberg never had the intentions for it to get to the powerful level that it's gotten to.
It was great for a way to meet girls.
Probably so.
Well,
Oh, man, what a great subject. I'm telling you, I don't even need coffee today. You guys got me worked up. Let's go.
let's talk about something in the past that probably made it a more significant impact than I ever realized until this topic came up. Um, it was it was Congressman Hayes from Ohio and Fannie Hill walking in the tidal basin in DC. He was drunk and she was a prostitute. And that was like sensational headlines. And all before that, all that stuff had been swept under the rug, right? I think that was the turning point in journalism. That, folks, is your history lesson today.
Yeah, aka Professor Jones at his best.
Right.
Uh,
Then you had the guy running for president in monkey business with Donna Rice.
uh, hey guys, I think it's easy to say we're not licensed therapists, but I think it's fun to watch the fact that we can take such a great subject and expand to our beliefs and what we see. The angles and the views that the four of us pose are different but alike. The end game is the same for us, but how we get to that end game is fun to listen to and watch. Please join us every day. We watch on the app Calm, and within Calm, the app Jay Shetty on a daily basis for inspiration. For sure, like Mike said at the beginning.
And folks, don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe for more adventure videos.
Peace.
Peace.